I'm John McDonald, and this 52 acres is called the JV Ranch in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. Been self-building this 7,500 square foot barndominium. Got a half-acre pond over here. I'm a business owner, bodybuilder. I got a lot of projects going on, including the Chevelle that you guys have been seeing on TikTok and Instagram. But today we're going to start this long form video with all the updates, and I'll do work as I go. But this is my first long form video, and just going to get you guys acclimated to the rest of what's going on here. There's a lot going on, so let's go take a look. First thing we're going to go check out is this the pond situation. I've got the water levels coming up. I've been working on getting that water level up, and as you can see, maybe on my social or on my Instagram and TikToks, you can see that I've been working on this liner because the water, I had a big hole over here because the water that's coming in from the gutters was actually leaking. I don't want to say leaking. The hole that was cut wasn't secured properly, so I'm welding that up with a, you guys can see here, let's take a look. I used a seam welder on that. This is, here's the weld right here. But the hole was way down there, and I was using flex tape and spraying stuff on it, and nothing was really working. I was a little nervous, the stuff wasn't working. So what I did was I bought a seam welder on Amazon for $106, $110, and it's basically a heat gun at 1600 watts, and it worked wonderfully actually. And then I brought up our gutter pipe another 12 inches. You can see where it's coming from. The gutter's there, and it actually goes underneath the slab to the other side. So got a big 6-inch pipe there. All the water that's coming off the Barnaminium here is getting into the pond, but a lot of it's coming through this main pipe here. Anyways, so I did this patch here, and then I made a homemade boot and some gasket. So the water, I don't think is gonna get that high. It might, but if you can kind of see around, it varies a little bit, but that was a low spot. I'm gonna go check on that next. That was a low spot over there that I had to peel the liner back, put some dirt back there to raise it up. And the spillway, oh, okay. The spillway that I had, I don't have a pipe, I've got a spillway. And we'll go check that out real quick. But the spillway, I've risen the dirt, I raised the dirt up, and I'm trying to calculate it with my transit. It's pretty hard, trying to make sure everything is level. This was my little hangout area, as you guys probably been following on all the other social media. I was gonna put a bunch of rocks here, hang out here, and what I realized was that the level that I had around the pond was showing so much liner that it was going to take a lot of rocks to cover that, and I don't like seeing all this liner. We do have to cover this liner or else the sun will eat it up. This is not plastic. This is not, a lot of people comment on what it is. What it is a reinforced polyethylene 30 mil thick. 30 mil thick. So the sun will eat it up eventually. It's just reinforced so well that you can see where the deer have been walking through. I got this because the manufacturer, Western Environmental in Arizona, recommended this for agricultural use. So this is for swimming, yes. This is also for fish. I've got plenty of fish in here. You can see some mosquito fish in here now. Mosquito fish, and got bass and bluegill. We could talk about this all day. I love the pond, this is fun. Anyways, I've risen the level, or I'm trying to rise the level even more, so that we don't see as much liner. It looks pretty ugly, and it would take so much rock. That's why we're trying to raise the level up. But I'm having to sacrifice my little hangout area, which is fine, because the fish really tend to love it. You know, these mosquito fish and small bluegill are just, they're finding it home, and the bass aren't able to get in there yet. They will, but we'll just have to add some structure. You can see I've got some rocks in here now. I've probably got about half a dozen cedar trees out there that I've cut, thrown in there. People talk about the Christmas trees. Listen, Christmas happens once a year, and so it's not like I've got 30 Christmas trees just ready to go. So I'll cut down a cedar tree and throw it in there. I did put some culverts in there with some trees inside and some rocks. So that's pretty cool. That deep end over there is 14 feet deep approximately. We need to get out there and measure it actually, but 14 feet deep, and then it gradually slopes up. So except for this area right here, the shallow end, it raises up, and we're probably 3 or 4 foot deep over here. See this spot right here, I've got, you know, 4 or 5 feet of liner going up that I'm gonna have to cover with a bunch of rocks. There's no real way to get around this. And as you can see, everything is swaled away from the pond. I don't want runoff. I don't want all this clay in there. I want it to be nice and clean. So I couldn't go any lower here. That's why we've got such a large embankment. I couldn't go any lower here. Gotta get rid of that metal, but couldn't go any lower here. So this is what we ended up with, about 4 to 5 feet of embankment. So we got to figure out how to cover that. I'm thinking with rocks and plants, and there's a lot of things out there. I'm not too worried about it, but we do need to get it covered because this has been down for a few months. That white spot, the white spots, that's from the clay, the dirt. You can see the dirt, and but it's a very, very strong liner. I'm impressed. I've got a bunch of extra right there for patching and other little ponds that I kind of want to do. But the size of the pond is about 22,000 square surface area feet. And so that's a ½ acre. And let's see, we got the spillway here. You can see how it's not totally finished because I'm still playing with it. I'll pull it back. Look, we got some bass in the spillway because it's shallow and those minnows are hanging out in here. And yeah, I do hang out on this float over here that at night it's solar powered. They're out there eating them up. So I like to hang out on this float here. And let's see, what do we got? Just a little bit of area, but as you can see, the spillway's filled in, and this is just an easy way for me to raise the level, lower it. And down here, I've got a little catch area that I'm gonna call a pond. Oh, it's just about dried up. There was some baby mosquito fish down there. I was hoping they would live. We got some rain last night, but check this out. This is just a lot of moving dirt right here. But that's how I'll raise the level. And water's coming up right there. But as you can see on the back end here, that's where it ends. And so gradually slopes down. I do want to plant this in grass once I get this water level where I want it. But then this area out here, I'm going to knock a bunch of trees down in January, February once deer season's over, because I don't want to mess with the woods. I'm pretty funny about that. But I'm going to have about an acre pond out here. And I don't think I'm going to put a liner there, but that is the next step when it comes to this pond. Well, that, and there's other little things, right? Like I want to put some lights across over there. It'd be real nice, have some lights on that end. Need a lot of rock, so I'm going to bring in some truckloads of rock, or I've got some rocks out in the property that I've got to get a dump trailer, and that's just a ton of work, literally a ton of work. I've got these big piles of trees that came from clearing out this land from the Barnaminium, from this land, from the pond right here, and they need to get burnt up. That's a lot of work, just burning stuff. Oh, got some fish coming right there. And you can see how this water level, I don't know if you can tell, but it's just about to come over. Probably another 2 inches is going to come over. And so what I'll probably have to do here today is pull this back and put a little dirt in there, because you can see our pipe right there. So that may get some water. I don't know yet, but this was our low spot. It's now over there. So I'll just keep working on it. Got these mosquito fish everywhere. Probably put a couple hundred of them in there. And the past few months, these things just populate every 17 days, repopulate. It's just, they're such a great forage fish. Now I do have a bunch of bluegill in there. If you've been watching, you understand I've 800 bluegill, 40 bass. Had some people bring some bigger bass in here. And so the bluegill have actually been repopulating. There's a bunch of baby bluegill in here. Two tilapia. I don't know if they're making babies, not sure, but here in the upstate of South Carolina, I know everybody says, hey, get them out, get them out. I don't think they're gonna live. And if they do, hopefully the bass take care of that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But this, I cut off some liner. I had some excess of liner there. You can see it right there. Looks like a giant slip and slide, but I'm actually going to use that on the spillway end so that that doesn't get eroded going into the second pond. But been doing a lot of work with the tractor. You got to have a tractor when you got land. You got to have equipment to do all this stuff, but the tractor's got some fuel issues. I changed the fuel pump and the fuel filter, but it's kind of conking out here and there. Look, you can see this pipe. That's another one. Goes up. But we'll go inside here. Like I said, I could talk about the pond all day. This area right here, probably plant some grass, but I'm going to extend the wraparound porch. I'm going to extend it and use it as an awning for all my tractor implements and everything going outside here, like air compressor, whatnot, so it doesn't clog up the shop. But this area here, I'll plant some grass. This is all swaled out and graded to drain out that way for any kind of rain. But the only water getting into this pond is going to be the rain coming off the building or coming off the pump house out of there. I've got the hose constantly running into it, probably running 3 gallons per minute right now. And you guys see the aeration. I've got 2 diffusers right there. I've got this one Vevor pump. It was like $350. It's been running for a couple months now. It's kind of temporary because I don't want it here. I want to put it in the pump house. I don't like hearing it when I'm sitting here on the porch hanging out. You see I got the transit going on, got the pit boss, got to have the pit boss smoker. But let's go inside here, and actually we'll go in the shop. I want to show you where this pipe actually goes. And here we go. This is my office. It's kind of dark out here in the shop, and here we go. We got some light. Yeah, that's a bear, of course. I like to hunt. Sasquatch. I'm a big Sasquatch fan, but guys, check out the shop. If you don't know what I do, I own a small business called Fab Tech Solutions. We sell and service metal fabricating machinery, plasma tables, press brakes. It's a press brake, 175 ton. And iron workers, we got some Piranha iron workers. We love the Piranha iron workers. We love the Piranha equipment. The Piranha brand is awesome. We've got a newer style right here, but I love this plasma table. This is ArcLight Dynamics. There's no software like it. Look, I could talk about this stuff forever, but as you can tell, guys, I've got a lot of stuff going on, and my baby over here is suffering. And yeah, that's a 1971 Chevelle. And if you guys have been following, I've been having some issues with getting the timing right. Let's open up this garage. These are 14 by 14 doors. Got them all hooked up on the Wi-Fi with the phone. Really old iron worker right here. Second older one, but anyway. All right, so the 1971 Chevelle's got the 454 in it. 1985 Blazer's got the LS, but as of right now, you guys know that the timing's been off. I've done a lot of different things to this, trying to get it right, but chances are we're going to swap this 454 out for a 502 or a 540, and probably as soon as this Friday, actually. So that's the update here. Again, this video is just supposed to be about updates. This is a mess. I don't like working like this. Don't like working like this at all. But another add-on to this build. This is 4,500 square foot in this warehouse area. This is going to get spray foamed, and we're probably going to put HVAC right there. I've got these Amazon lights. These dome lights came from Amazon. They're awesome. I think they're about 60 bucks a piece. Is it 300 watt maybe? But we got 2 more in today. We're going to add them up here, over this way. And the Blazer needs to be tuned. I want it to be tuned. It's got 50 miles on it. And I got to get some interior work done on it. We've got body work that needs to get done on it, but that vehicle, I drove that in high school, and my dad actually drove us 5 kids in the, he used to drive us to school and that. So 5 of us would hop in there, you know, smell like fumes, and we would fight who's gonna ride shotgun. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I was gonna show you guys where that pipe actually comes in. When I built this building, I trenched one main line. You can see this gutter right here goes in, and then I ran a pipe to this main 6-inch line right here. Actually, you can't see it, right? But dumps in, and then it goes underneath the shop into the pond. So on, AI tells you that if you get 1 inch of rain, I think it's like 20,000 gallons for the 7,000 or so square foot that's on the roof there, roofage space as I like to call it. But that's it for the pond. A little update on the pond, a little update on the car, a little update on the business. Got this truck here, I got to put a handle on it, one of the assist handles. Right now we're going to go into the woods and go check on one of my food plots. I planted clover and winter rye, and I've been hunting out there, and I left my bow out there the other night because what happens is, if you're a hunter, you understand that the deer will come in at nighttime or in the evening time, and then you got to kind of sneak out. So it's easier for me to sneak out without my bow, and it's only a couple hundred yards from the barn door. So I left the bow up there and I snuck out, didn't spook anything. That's great. But I used the Tacticam reveal cameras, got one out here, and I don't know that it's working well, so I'm gonna go check on it and see what the corn situation looks like. I might be out of corn, and just want to check on what the clovers look like. We've got some rain, we definitely needed it, but it's about an acre food plot. I didn't have any trails. I better start whispering. I didn't have any trails on this property when I bought it. In fact, like the barn dough, I had to clear all that out myself. So I rented a dozer, rented an excavator, but it had no trails, so I was constantly, walking through with a machete. And the first about 20 acres of the property here is grown up pasture. It's probably about 20, 30 years old. So we've got a lot of pines and cedars and a lot of what are they called? Sweet gums. They're not really worth anything. So the first part of the property is some trash stuff that I kind of don't like, but I like that it covers me from the road. And this trail that I'm on right now, you can tell that I've got the pines and trash, and then I've got some hardwoods over here. So the deer like to walk in between here at night, and a lot of rubs, a lot of scrapes, and it's easy to get to in and out. My daughter shot her biggest deer last year, which is a nice 10-point. She shot it over here with her crossbow, but it's a really neat area. And like I said, just easy to get to, very, very comfortable. We're coming around the corner here, so I'm gonna try and help you guys. Yep. So, ooh, I see a little green over there. Check that out. Wow. Nice, guys. If you guys are deer hunters, you know what it's like. You don't even have to see anything. Check this out. You don't even have to see anything when you're hunting, as long as you're sitting over some nice surface area. I heard somebody say this the other day. It's kind of hard for the devil to find you out here in a tree stand. This is so peaceful and fun for me, but let's take a look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that clover's coming up real nice. I can't wait. Got that beat up blind over there. I got to get that out of here, but here's where I've been dumping some corn. Been dumping some corn right here, and I made this this homemade deer feeder, which is just a 4-inch drain pipe. That's actually what the liner, the pond liner came in on. It was wrapped up on that. And I just put a hole on the bottom of it, filled it up full of corn, put a little top on there. But we are empty here, definitely empty. I don't want to walk all over this, but there's plenty of corn out here. And actually, I'll tell you what, I'm probably gonna hunt this tonight. So that is, I'm gonna leave my bow up in there, but that's my double man stand. It's a muddy, it's very comfortable. What I know about hunting is you will sit longer in a comfortable tree stand. Oh, guys, check this out. Jumping around on you, but these right here are the soybeans I planted early September, I believe, and they all came up. They all came up, but the deer were coming in here and just mowing them down. So nothing really lived. I thought nothing lived, but you can see, look, there's a couple. Nope, that's not one, but there's a couple plants here. There's a couple plants here. I'm trying to be quiet and tell you guys what's going on here. But that is a 27-yard shot. 27-yard shot from that stand to that corn pile over there, right there. And I'm gonna check on that camera real quick. But I had to make this area, that's why you got a pile of brush right there. I came in here early this year with a bulldozer and excavator and just made this little micro plot, if you will. It's almost an acre, which you can almost shoot everywhere with a bow here. But that's my reveal camera. We'll go check on this thing real quick. Sometimes sometimes these antennas come loose. I don't know. Let's see what we got. Okay, everything seems to be on. I don't know, maybe that sensor's a little dirty, but you see you should have a nice view. I don't know, we'll check in a little bit, but I'm gonna leave my bow up in there because I'm gonna try to sneak in here tonight. It's about time to get some meat on the ground. I haven't shot anything yet this year. I have been seeing things, but nothing big enough for me to get excited about. Me and my daughter, we've killed a lot of pretty big and nice deer, and we don't just take deer to take them. I eat about 4 to 5 deer a year. That's a big part of my diet, actually. And you know, I don't think we killed 4 last year, so we're out. We need to get some meat in here. So I would like to get a doe on the ground. And I think tonight's gonna be a good one. But with the weather, it's been changing here. We're in the upstate of South Carolina, which the weather is about, what do I say, 72 degrees right now. So 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Somebody could tell me what that is. But anyway, so I'm thinking about making a bigger food plot here. That's the only real food plot that I've got on 52 acres. The rest of it's all hardwoods, and there's a lot of acorns on the ground out here. I got a creek that goes down. It's really beautiful hardwoods. I think I heard something run off. Anyway, I try not to come out here. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna make a bigger food plot out here. I would love to be able to dove hunt, and to dove hunt you need to at least 2 acres. But I like the preparation of hunting. Well, that's funny. Check this out. Just kind of some Blair Witch stuff going on here. Ooh. So I think I'm going to come in here and clear out a few more acres. But the fun part of hunting for me now is more about the preparation. Being able to get on the tractor after a long week or whatever the case may be, and get on there and just turn over some dirt or dig some holes that don't even need to be dug. That excites me just as much as it does seeing a deer. And I like taking people, first time hunters, introducing them to hunting. It's really fun to see them get excited about deer and teach them about that. Man, I enjoy everything that goes on out here. So, all right, guys, I got to get back to work. I don't know if I left anything. I don't know if I left anything out, but we're going to do some more long form content. If you like this kind of content, you have anything specific you want me to address, any kind of questions regarding the Barnaminium, regarding the pond, business stuff. I didn't talk about the business too much, but put it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and as always, share it with your mama.